Don't say nothing. We live in South Africa. We know the story. 6 goals. No, sorry. Stage 6. So we apologize for having gone off. We're now back. We hope that there's enough power. We are grateful that the president has guaranteed us that there'll be less load shedding. Whether we believe him, whether it happens, another thing, another day. But we were here and we were giving what I think, from the game perspective, we're seeing a lot of opportunities. 1-on-1 saved by Williams. And you can see it's a very open game, from the way you see. Looks like the guys are more relaxed the way that they're playing. Your thoughts on the game so far?
No, listen, I was worried when I heard Hugo Bruce's press conference yesterday. In his presser, he said that the 3rd place and the 4th place really, doesn't matter, and he's wondering why they have this game. He believes like the 3rd place match should be cancelled.
He's right.
And when I heard the Congolese side of things, they were saying that they're in this game to win it for the pride of the people. So I was worried about the attitude of the players going into this game. Are they going to want it?
But the Congolese side does not surprise me. Anytime you don a national team jersey, one should always play with pride.
Absolutely. You don't have to wait the losers final to play with pride.
Yes.
Anytime you put that on, anytime you sing the national anthem, one should go there with the mentality that I'm representing a nation. Therefore, I will put everything on.
So what I'm seeing so far is entertainment. We've already seen a 1-on-1 situation where Williams really he's making a push for being the finance minister in South Africa. Really, he could save anything.
We can leave the finance, we can make him minister of electricity.
This kind of comment that Congolese people are saying that we will play for pride. You don't wait until so late to play for pride.
Oh, but
they should have done that in the semi-final. And from the first game, they should have done that until they'll reach the final tomorrow. But unfortunately, they couldn't make it. This is the reasoning of people
who
don't choose DRC as the first choice. Most of the time, they choose the countries where they are born. And when those countries reject them, that's why they come back. They've got the second option.
Papa
Jeff, what you're saying, sorry, and that's very important, because you're starting to look at certain nations. You're starting to look at nations like, we won't mention Nigeria, but when players who were not born in the country have played for other teams, other nationalities in the junior ranks, but because they didn't crack it at the top, they are now coming and being able to say, we are now available. I've always thought, no, I'm South African, come what may. It's one of the things that I have. I can never find myself. I appreciate the skills of Lionel Messi. Can never buy an Argentinian shirt. Appreciate when it was Thierry Henry. I can't find myself buying it. But at club level, I can buy those. But as the South African in me,
because the national team is something very, very special to you. It is about patriotism.
I just wanted to ask Papa Jeff one question.
You see, that's why I like Didier Drogba, though. I don't like the way you play. I didn't like the way he plays, though he's a great player because he cheats a lot. He used to cheat a lot. But
as an Arsenal fan, really, that makes me feel better.
I like his patriotism because when he was playing for Genk, they come to ask the French Federation came to ask him to play for France. He refused. He already made his mind, and he didn't know that he was going to be so great. But he chose Coted'Ivoire. Those are the people that I want in the team. Not your Bongonda, not your Bakambu, just because they were not selected by France or Belgium. That's why they're coming back. They've got a second option to rely on DRC. So they can be, and they're coming to the national team for their own marketing.
So that they can go to better clubs,
Absolutely.
better leagues.
Absolutely. If I was one of the members of the FA, I would not, because that's why we don't have one of the big league or strongest leagues in Congo. Just because they say that those FA people don't say, no, anyway, we will go to Europe, we will get players.
It always leaves a very sour taste in my mouth when you hear the president of an FA is trying to woo people to come back and reminds people, you don't need to remind me who I am. You don't really need to remind me my land of birth. You don't need to remind me where home is. You don't need to remind me where my roots are from.
No, but listen, I see the game in a different way. Listen, if Bukayo Saka comes tomorrow and says he wants to play for Super Eagles all of a sudden, he will be welcomed with open arms. Yeah. Even though,
but it's a principal issue for me.
For me, football is about winning. You know, yes, we want national pride and all of that, but you know, if a player's coming and is going to strengthen your team, then why not? For me, I would pick.
For me, this is how I look at it. Like, I'm a player, right?
Right.
And Papa Jeff is the coach. I now miss training and I miss everything. I miss 2 months. After 2 months of missing training, I come back and I walk into the starting lineup. Do you know how much disrespect you are saying to people who have been there, who've been training, who've honored collabs? And that's a problem of talented people.
Yeah.
Because they're talented, we must now walk them into the team.
No, I really don't see that. I mean, the Super Eagles have like a group of players, they call them the In It Boys, you know, because like they had a chance, they could have played for England and all of that,
but you said could have, were they ever chosen?
They were not chosen, so they ended up with the Super Eagles. But now so
the Super Eagles are an option, not because it's who they are.
Well, I mean, for me, like, they're going to learn their national pride as they go along. They're going to learn certain ways.
Please,
like,
you must take time. Tomorrow before the game, you don't. Please teach him. You don't learn national pride.
They'll learn it as they go along. They'll learn it as they go along.
While we're still watching, and I can see that both teams are very relaxed, and though they have most of the players from the day one, and they take the game very seriously, and I appreciate that. They respect the CAF and the Afcon.
They respect the event.
The event as well, and also because of the people in the stands, and then that's a very good sign. A laudable behavior from both teams, and we could see that they're trying to see how they can find the space and try to get one of the teams off the back and score. But it's something. But when we come to the history of people choosing sides, remember the Boateng brothers from Ghana.
You see, that's a good example.
They wanted to play for Germany.
For Germany.
Yeah,
but the youngsters was more talented than the big brother.
Yes.
And the big brother
the big brother fell over when Lionel Messi approached him.
He was very angry, and now because when Ghanaian FA approached them to play, the younger brother said, no, he won't play for Ghana. And they both said they won't play for Ghana.
That's
and when he saw that for the World Cup 2010, he was not chosen by Germany, and he said he's available for Ghana.
Yes.
But he came to Ghana to play in the World Cup in South Africa, and then after...
was it not a wonder for Ghana?
Just for his marketing.
You see, and
just for his marketing.
Yeah, but the entertainment value.
In Nigeria, I even said it when I was in Uyo on the show, when I say that I don't like the behavior of, is it Moses Simon or the one who used to play for Chelsea? Moses something. This guy, Moses. Victor, is it not Victor Moses? Yes, I'm not quite sure, but it was Moses. This guy was choosing the games he wanted to play for the Super Eagles.
No, that was Victor Moses. That one did not go to the mountain to free his people. He wanted But there's something that you said, and while we're talking on the history of CAF, and one of the things that becomes very key, Papa Jeff, is the fact when you look back at the history, CAF competition, the Afcon was not a tournament that Europe took very seriously.
Yeah.
They were not watching, and maybe because of the history that CAF had with Lagadia, not all the countries can be able to watch.
Oh,
Commercially now.
is that? That's a shot from evidence.
You say you keep your cool, you check your lines and see who is available. You can't do that.
He lacked the evidence.
I'm just happy that when
that shot lacked the evidence that he's a top striker.
I'm happy we're not watching a training session.
No.
These guys are taking it seriously.
But going back to what we're saying is that in the past, CAF, it was just a by the way. But now we're seeing record number with everybody that can be able to take up the rights for TV rights took them. And I mean, I heard somebody like Gary Neville saying that he thinks the Premiership VAR people should come to CAF competition because they've been so good at it. Going back and looking what Afcon used to be and what it is now, your thoughts on that?
You have to contextualize this. We have to put it into context. Today, with the technology, I will say that it is more advanced. But on the pitch, I see it has dwindled in some way, because when previous winners of Afcon, they were basing their backbone in the national team on local leagues. When Cameroon and Nigeria start winning this competition, they were not looking at Europe. And that's why we had very strongly, look at Cameroon at the World Cup 1990. Most of the team, more than 60% of the team were players from Douala and Kano Yaoundé. Yes, and after the game, after they won the opening game against Argentina with Maradona and Canicha, the man of the match, who was he? He was playing for Kano Yaoundé. But he was chosen, they said home of the match. They put it in French and then they put it in English, they say man of the match. So because the leagues at that period were very strong, and the CAF management, when Nekachute Tesema was the president before he died in 87 and succeeded by Hissa Hayatou. He refused to go to the World Cup in '66 in England just because FIFA and Europe, they were playing with Africa. They gave Africa one slot. They said that there is one outstanding slot, and it will be Asia, Africa, and Oceania.
But
and then he said, you don't respect us, we won't go. And they didn't go.
But Papa Jeff, and that's important, that history is important, because you look at how the world and FIFA used to see us.
Yeah.
How do we now compare? Because when you see with Dr. Patrice Motsepe, he demands that platform. It seems we know who we are as Africans.
Yeah.
We want more slots in the World Cup. We want to be taken seriously in what we're doing. But and for me, it's
but we cannot have more slots in the World Cup without leagues, without domestic leagues. We have to have better leagues.
No, I hear you, but we no longer that.
We have to deserve.
We no longer that federation whereby we come cap in hand. Oh, Europe, can you please do this? Because now you're seeing there's more sponsors in this Afcon that have come.
Yep.
There's more TV in this Afcon than before. And when you look at it, the organization has been so beautiful that there is no off-the-field issues that are a distraction. We are now focusing on we understand that Coted'Ivoire have shown us that no team, you don't need a coach to get to the finals because they are coach left.
No, you need a coach. You still need a coach.
But from an administrative position, led by Dr. Patrice Motsepe, CAF has done well organized, well managed, so that everybody can be able to focus on what they're supposed to focus on.
I don't think so, but he did on his way, because it's not at the end of his term to say that he has done well, he has failed. But I like the emphasis. I like the initiatives that he takes. I saw that the broadcasting rights of these competitions were given to an African TV station, just because the African TV station doesn't have the capacity to produce Afcon, so he subcontract with Beyond Africa company, which is not right. That should be in a specification of the CAF that if we give you the right for broadcasting,
you need to be
terrestrial. Yes, your subcontractor should be also an African, Because when you go to Europe, when you go to America, they won't come to look for an African subcontractor.
Having said
that's
that,
true.
Yeah.
commercially,
That's true.
Commercially, don't you think? And when you see the likes of, there's sponsors like Puma that have come on board. There's so many other sponsors that have come on board. Yeah. Commercially, this has been a very good tournament.
That's
the likes of Visa that have come back after having left.
That's what I was saying earlier. Like when you asked me to rate the competition, you could see there's been money pumped into this. It's a whole production, this Afcon. And, I really feel like everyone coming on board, the work CAF have done on this competition is just incredible.
With that said, Papa Jeff, then there's the host, which I think they have done well to raise the standard. Mm-hmm. You look at the pitches that have been prepared. You look at the stadium that have been prepared. Nobody's complaining about facilities.
Yes, because there were also a complicity between the COCAN, which is a local organizing committee, and the CAF, and with the government as well, because everything has been supported by the government. And this is where I have an issue when it comes to that. When the politicians are sought after to give their approval, yes, FIFA is happy, CAF is happy. But when the very same government wants to check the accounts for the FA, because they give money to the federation, because most of our FAs in Africa are sponsored by the government.
Yes.
And they said it is football interference, government interference. It doesn't make sense. We should amend our laws within CAF. We don't have to have a,
Where do you draw the line though, Papa Jeff? Because it's...
Papa Jeff sounds like...
No, but it's important.
He can be the president of CAF tomorrow. He will change all this.
You've got to find the balance.
Yes.
For you to host, you need visa laws to change. You need government to invest in infrastructure. You need so much of government to be able to, not just the laws, but you also need budget to be able to build stadium, to be able to all those things. But having done all those things, if right now Coted'Ivoire government was to say, we gave you 300 million,
right?
I know it can grow leagues, but we want an audit. The footballing community would then go, the government is interfering.
Yeah.
Where do you draw the line?
We don't have to copy paste what we get from FIFA or from UEFA. Those guys, they have credible sponsors in the private sector. We don't have that in Africa. So we have to amend our law to say that yes, government can intervene, even at certain stage. But even FIFA, all FAs are members of FIFA.
Yes.
FIFA do send an audit company to check the books, all those to audit the books, all of those FAs, and there's no problem with that. But when the government does so, it becomes a problem.
So should we not then say, when it comes to financial matters, audited financials, government is allowed to be part of?
Yes.
Infrastructure, government is allowed to be a part of. But playing and everything on the field, allow the football to be. So there should be annexures in terms of
yes, because we have our African realities. We don't have to be, no, FIFA said this, FIFA said, yes, FIFA, yes, we do understand you. But please, take heed at what we say to you.
Because I've seen Dr. Motsepe has been very vocal in terms of, if you look at how he and you listen to how he talks about the Moroccan guys.
Yeah.
In terms of the king being able to be involved. You've got, he was saying that the Nigerian president is coming.
Yeah.
Hopefully he doesn't bring the load shedding that happened. But there is a bridge that's been built between government and the FAs and CAF in terms of how they do it.
And in Morocco, and like in South Africa, the PSL gets the money from the private sector. True. But in Morocco, government gives money.
Yes. The same as Egypt as well. And there's a lot of
government gives money. And you will ask those people, those government that are giving money, pumping money to develop football, not to check what you're doing with the money they're giving you.
So they should be.
They should.
They should
be able to say, on the accounting side, financial side.
True. That's right. Even in the Nigerian local league, Nigerians are not happy with the state of the league at the moment, and definitely it needs
they can withdraw the national team from the final. South Africa.
So that's why we have some kind of the conflict, some kind of conflict when civil servants in African government, in our states, they claim more money. True. Why they say that players, they come for 1 week, you give them more than jackpot. And we've been sweating, we don't even get half, not even 1/3 of what they're getting. So, and that's why I'm saying the government should look into that, because they can take that money and put it somewhere else.
No, that's
to
right.
And schools and better the condition of civil servants.
Yes, and the government getting involved, it can only improve like what we see, the quality of the football on the continent. I mean, I'm tired of watching World Cups. Africa is not competing on that level.
But coming to this particular tournament, I'm very happy that for the third time, actually, Coted'Ivoire is playing in the final, because when they tried, this is the second time, because when they tried in 1984, they were beaten. Yes. They were beaten in the run robin stage. They couldn't make it, and it was Cameroon who won it. You know that? Do you know that Cameroon won three Afcons against Nigeria?
Yes. I mean, that's why when the Super Eagles, that's why when the Super Eagles beat the indomitable Lions, it meant so much. Now you
see why I say that they are training players that were taken to Cote d'Ivoire.
Yes,
they should have changed in the last game. Look at Monganda now. He has a muscular problem now.
Yes,
because he has played a lot.
But looking at that, and there's nothing worse, because now as the club coaches are starting to look at it.
Yeah.
If a player gets injured at the beginning of the tournament, you say, well, like Mo Salah, he was injured, now he's on recovery, and you expect him to be in the next 7 to 10 days to be able to start coming back. But when a player gets injured like this, and for example, the PSL is starting to play on Wednesday.
Wow.
Sunday, literally.
Sundowns Orlando Pirates.
Sundowns Orlando Pirates is on the 17th. Pirates are going to donate 3 points
and then yes.
but what you've got is that Bafana land on Wednesday. On the very same Wednesday, Sundowns is playing.
But Sundowns has got more than 25 players.
Going back to that, we're seeing a team like Bafana now having the most players that are playing locally.
Yeah.
Does that then say there's talent on the continent? There's talent that has remained on the continent, playing on the continent. If the continental teams in the other countries and other FAs, if they get their act together, does that not augur well for the teams?
Absolutely. That's why I say that CAF should take should take the zonal organization of the competitions in Africa. Because I don't see why when you play in Super League, African Super League, or CAF Confederation, or CAF Champions League, that a team from Lesotho should travel all the way to go and play in Casablanca while they are in a Southern Africa zone.
So you think it should be regional?
It should be regional, and those champions will be grouped in one country, so they can play the final tournament.
Oh my goodness!
So what we must do? Here's a suggestion.
That's a good idea.
No, there's that one that likes Arsenal called Chris Pongo. Pongo is sending a package to KEF. When the reform body sits, we're gonna send Papa Jeff there so that he can start putting those ideas to say.
I'm telling you.
At least get people to think differently.
Well, I'm very happy because they did that for the World Cup. I've been saying that I don't want the World Cup. Why do you play preliminaries? You said that CAF is there for the development of football on the continent, but when it comes to when it's about a qualification for major tournament, at the world scale tournament, you say that we have to start from preliminaries. You eliminate other countries that you think they are not so good enough, so we will take only. No. Don't take all those countries, even if there should be 20 groups of how many teams. Yes, take them. They have to play against each other. If today Swaziland is losing 10-0 against South Africa, in 2 years' time they won't do that anymore. They will perform.
Because you don't want, there's nothing worse to a player than having humiliated. You do it once, it's fine.
Yeah.
But you can't do it repeatedly.
Yeah. Like they say in Cote d'Ivoire, le premier Gaou n'est pas Gaou.
What?
Yeah. C'est le deuxième.
What does that mean? Translations, please.
Once bitten, twice shy.
Yes.
Give me twice.
You see.
No, I wanted to ask you, are you happy with Congo's performance during the Nations Cup? Because I could sense your dissatisfaction
Yes.
with their performance.
No, they didn't play.
And I'm wondering why. They played against Zambia, right? 25 shots to Zambia's 3.
You know, so
What more do you want? 1-1 against Morocco.
There are people back in DRC that are very disappointed that the DRC didn't play in the final. I say, but what they have done already is beyond my imagination.
Right.
I didn't think that they could reach this because I didn't see the play. They don't have game plan. There's no strategy. We don't have a midfielder. That's why you could see that Bemba sometimes he leaves his role to come up and do those passes, lobbing.
No, but I can see that this team, let me tell you, for me, the discipline is there. You know the formation, the 4-2-3-1 that the coach adopts in most games. They keep that structure in most of their games. So I could see like the team is improving. That's what I see.
They're improving in the third place game. Yes, I would say that, but not at the beginning. From the beginning.
Here's my question, and it's one of the things that I was having this conversation because we were having quite an intense discussion with somebody, and we were saying, maybe these two teams should play in the third place playoff because there is so much that still needs to be done on the ground in their FAs.
Oh, the legends in the crowd.
You're getting them tired. That's because like Clarence Seedorf is in the standard that you should play in this Euro. At Euro, they don't play this game.
So the third place match?
They don't play it.
But Papa Jeff, and my saying that is because of the following. We know of the problems that lie when you here in South Africa. Hugo Bruce wanted the team to be assembled at a certain time. The PSL was still playing at the time. So though there's still so much to work on. There are problems of development within the SAFA structures. So if Bafana had gone to the finals and won, there's no problems.
Yeah. Because they're playing in the final and they've won it.
The assumption would be there is no problem.
There's no problem.
But now we want to be able to say, let's go back, let's re-look at some of the problems that we have. What's our development structure like? What's our structure in terms of from a woman football? What is our structure in terms of fundamentally, how are we doing? Because then we got to say, administratively, are we okay? No, we're not. Administratively.
No, South Africa is.
While we're far ahead of everybody else, but we're still not where we should be.
Yeah.
And I think that because you're comparing us to other FAs in the continent, we are far ahead. But when you look at the issues that need to be done.
So is it a good thing that, because if South Africa won this competition, it would have been paper over the cracks on the issues, in the system. Yes. So, I mean, is it necessarily a good thing that you could see that there's progress in the football team from this tournament?
The progress,
but then they didn't win it.
But it's not only about South Africa. What he says is quite right, but it's not only about South Africa. And CAF should also support that. That's why you can see that in Europe, when we should have the very same competition that we have now at the junior level.
True. Yes, that's a good idea. So I agree with that.
That's why you can see your German guys and French guys when you start playing shining.
But I would never agree with you two about that, right? Like, listen, if there's Ghanaian blood in you, and okay, you didn't make it to the German side, but you come back and play for Ghana, you should be welcomed. We're trying to improve the football.
Why should you have a choice when it comes to your country?
No, it should only be that I am a South African.
Guys.
But what we're saying in here, that some of the things that you look at when you're looking at the youngsters, right?
Yes.
If you look and listen to commentators, they can tell you. We watch A when he was playing at the under 17.
Yes.
Remember, he was in the Champions League of that year and that year and that year in the Junior Champions League.
Yeah.
And then they say, but he was also, take for example, if you look at Liverpool now, you watch Curtis Jones.
Yes.
He's just won a trophy with the English under-20s. So everybody can tell you your development structure.
But
in Africa, if I were to ask you right now and say, give me the development structure of 10 of the top performers now, you won't be able to.
That's why you saw at the World Cup in 2010 here, people didn't know about Thomas Muller. And when they said that he's already had the 37 caps, they were amazed.
Yes.
Say yes, because he started playing for the national team at a younger age.
Yes.
And he has graduated until the senior team. And that should happen also in Africa. The same Champions League that we play at senior level should be also at the junior level.
Oh man, maybe because I'm thinking people like Jamal Musiala and Bukayo Saka, they have Nigerian blood in them. Imagine them in this national team. I will take them.
I hate it when players choose a side.
I will take them. If they come back and say this, they'll play for Super.
Understand the following things. You look at the beginning of the season, and you hear of competition like the VW Cup, the Audi Cup, where Bayern's juniors will play against Dortmund and they'll play against, and all those. It means that you are now at a level where you are participating. You are at a level where you are rubbing shoulders with the best. You are at a level that you are now saying, no, we see your development structure. We see where you are. Where are those competitions for? Not necessarily. You know, it's all good and well when you see a team like Sundown sending the youngsters over to the Kevin De Bruyne tournament. They get there, they are joined fifth, and you're like, wow, they're doing well. But what you want to be able to do is to say, in the SADC region, the Sundown's development is good.
Yeah,
because they have beaten the Namibians, they've beaten the Zimbabweans. But there is that whereby you are able to then look and say, development in this region is done.
Yes.
And then give us the best of the South. Give us Central. Give us the West. Give us the North.
East.
But you also missing my argument in that I'm saying like
you just want the best, and I know
you don't know. Listen,
But
you
to get
missing
the
my
best,
argument.
you have to groom them.
Let me tell you. Let's groom them on the continent.
Yes.
But we also can't neglect the lost talent out there. Look at France. Look at France. No, I'm saying France that won the 2018 World Cup. How many Africans were in that team?
Okay,
they came back. They came back.
It hurts me when I see DRC
Imagine Mbappe playing for Cameroon.
Not Wissa. The one who plays the left back at Man United.
Wan-Bissaka.
Bissaka.
Yes.
This guy doesn't want to come to play for Congo.
For Congo.
Yeah. And
so
FA is after him because he want to play for the English
Three
team.
Lions.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't take him at Congo?
Yeah. Now, if you want now to come, yes. But if the England team doesn't take him and he say no, now I'm ready to play for Congo.
No.
If I'm an FA president, I won't take him.
You would take him. How well could it?
No, Adelani, here's my argument. Your first choice should be your country. Yeah. It can't be because somebody else.
You know, I get that, but I'm just after us getting the best talents we could get.
We don't
by all means.
No, we don't ask you to come and play for our clubs. You come to play for the national team, and you have only 6 games.
Look,
in a year.
Kevin Prince Boateng in 2010 didn't want to play for Ghana. But see what he brought to the team when
when he went to Milan.
Let's address. He wanted to play for Ghana because at the time he needed to market himself to other teams.
True.
Because if I'm not right now, the talk of the South African team are the likes of Williams. Because other teams are looking. The likes of Mokoena, they're going, he can come. Chris is still looking for him there at Arsenal because Partey is not having a party at all. So you're now going with all those things that are done. They have marketed themselves because they've played well. So Boateng knew, if I go to the World Cup, I perform well, then other teams will look for me.
And then
not because my DNA is Ghanaian.
No.
Hey, guys, We will.
Papa Jeff, he likes instant porridge.
And when we say that CAF is doing well, yes, CAF, I like the initiative under Patrice Motsepe's leadership. But what I have to look at now is scraping that CHAN and promote our under 23. You know,
scrapping the CHAN.
Yes, CHAN. What is it for?
Papa Jeff.
CHAN.
So let me ask you this. And on this, I agree with Papa Jeff for the following things. How does it help development? Because you can pick a 33-year-old and be in CHAN. What are the under 23 competitions that are running currently in Africa? Because we only see them when there's the Olympics.
Right.
Yeah.
If we were
but now they have a competition now.
That's
captain.
So there's a lot of captaincy there. There's a lot of leadership there.
Lucas
passed the leadership to Neil Tovey.
No, it was Neil Tovey.
The other way around. Sorry, it was the other way around. Neil Tovey passed the leadership.
But historically, South Africa, they've had some amazing defenders. Lucas was an incredible defender.
Oh, even Fish.
Yeah,
you know Fish.
No, I didn't rate Fish.
I didn't rate Fish. We had a player in DRC that we used to call Fish. Yes. Every time he touched it. But what amazed me is that our South African players were more popular outside than inside.
Yeah, no, Fish was very popular. Did you rate him?
Mark Fish?
Yes.
If you want to know Mark Fish, ask the Congolese guys. Because they tried by everything to even... In that game, Mark Fish would have played with every single... He had bruises in his eye. Yeah. Papa Jeff, what happened to Mark Fish in that game? Was he in Kinshasa?
It wasn't Congo Kinshasa. It was Congo Brazzaville. It was Congo Brazzaville.
Oh goodness!
The guy when he came out, it was like if he was in the.
It was bleeding. Oh man! No, Mark Fish was a warrior.
Mark Fish was one of those, and when you look at football
he wasn't the fastest on the turn.
He was one of those he could defend aerially, he could be able, because his key job was to be able to defend in front of Neil Tovey.
But I'm very impressed that the DRC is they're conducting themselves very well on the pitch.
Papa Jeff, they're good. It's a good team.
But what's happening to my South African players today?
Look, I think for me, the South African players where they are, I would have given some players a rest.
Yeah,
I would have loved to see a Goss in goals. I would have loved to see either a Veli Motoa in goals and be able to say...
Who's number 8?
Sami. He plays for Nantes in France. He's the captain there.
He's been incredible in this first half.
And this guy, I appreciate him. Why? Just because his father is from Martinique. And his mother is Congolese.
Okay.
So he can play for France, but you say he come to play for DRC.
Oh man.
So, but the other part that I would have loved to see from a South African perspective is to say, we know Modau was a good right back in the tournament. Who is next without him being there? We've seen what Williams can do. For me, the accolades that you're chasing now, I'm happy to give away the accolades and say, can Ricardo Gotts be able to play at the stage? Can he deal with the international pressure? Can you be able to say, the youngster from Stellenbosch, this is a game that you want him to be able to say, Tebogo Mokoena must relax, we've watched him, we've seen what he can do, let's get other people so we can see, do we have enough?
And now he loses the ball. Yeah, just because the midfielder is not up to scratch. So he loses the ball, he is now late. But this South Africa should have capitalized on that.
But you must understand, Mshishi's legs are 33. They're no longer very young. But it's half time.
It's half time.
Look, for me, while it's a third place playoff, the teams have taken this very seriously.
Yes.
They've respected the tournament, they've respected the occasion, and they've put the best team forward. Your thoughts on the first half, eh?
Listen, I told you I was expecting to watch a training session, but I'm happy that the teams are competing. The number 8 for me for Congo, is a player that has been lively in the first half. I think the South African players still have it in their minds what happened on Wednesday. Makopa, I haven't seen much from
so you're saying
Mr.
there's no evidence of him
Yeah, and you know, these were players that personally, you know, we watched the game together on Wednesday.
Yeah, I remember you lost weight.
I had to check my blood pressure after the game, you know. But today they've been a bit more relaxed, a bit more reserved in their approach of the game. There've been several opportunities to counter-attack that they haven't. So I think the game's going to open up more in the second half because the bronze medal is, you know, at stake. And like, this is an opportunity to still make history, and they must take it.
Yeah.
Split Heart?
Oh yes, I'm very happy, impressed about both teams.
Mr. Split Heart.
Yes, I have split heart.
He said he's half Congolese, half South African,
Yes,
so
I
he's
want
got a split
anyone
heart.
to
You
win.
must choose one, Papa Jeff.
No,
We don't allow it that on the show. It's against the rules of the show. Tell him.
Would you choose between your father and mom?
Well, if I have to. If I have to.
Depends what the reward is.
It depends on what the reward is.
No, I can't choose. I can't.
No, Papa Jeff, you have to choose one on the show.
No.
Tell him.
No, and I think Congo have applied themselves well, better
Yes,
than South
yes.
Africa, in my opinion.
Yeah, but no, it's because now in this particular game, I've seen them playing without being under pressure,
Yeah.
not running without purpose. And what I like about South Africa, they know, but I condemn the coach to put Rowan there because William should have rested because we know what he's
True.
capable of.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as you said, that they should put someone else
Like
to
Gos,
see.
like Veli.
But they
if
want,
he
but they
can
want to
really-
win. They want to win.
No,
So
but
you
I
get
hear
you
you.
get your strongest side out there when you want to win.
What we're gonna do at home? This argument seems like it's not going away. When I allow Adelani to go drink some water because he's very dehydrated after Nigeria. So what we will do is that keep your comments coming. We'll be able to read your comments as we go along, so that we can then be able to see what. And when we come back to discuss, what do the coaches do? How do the coaches apply themselves, and how do they then make sure that they leave the. But I still think everybody, regardless of who wins, you still leave with pride because you go to the semi-final.
True.
Yeah.
You've got big
Right.
teams like Morocco that
Yeah.
were watching at home.
Yeah.
I almost said big and I thought of Ghana, but big is not the thing that Ghana are part of. But we will see you after the break. We will see you in the second half. And hopefully at that time, Tebogo Mokwe and Themba Zwane can put 1 or 2 so that South Africa can win the game.
Okay.
In the African Cup of Nations that has been dubbed as the best Afcon that the world has ever witnessed by Dr. Patrice Motsepe, we're officially down to only 2 matches. We're down to the final 2 who we know out of them, certainly one will clinch the gold. That is Coted'Ivoire as well as the Super Eagles of Nigeria, whereas South Africa and DRC are set to battle it out for 3rd and 4th position. Bagaitsho dumelang, Lina la ka ke itumeleng, Kgosigadi ya Gabanda, and welcome to it. This is Aquaba, proudly brought to you by Fut-Afrique, and this is the only show where we get to have insightful African football conversations. They're entertaining, they're educational, and may I say, they give you a front row ticket into Coted'Ivoire 2023. So sit back, relax as we talk all things the Africa Cup of Nations, but we'll also branch out and talk all things women's football, as Jessica Bokamo-Sonkomo will join me, and we will talk about the FIFA Under-17 World Cup qualifiers, and not forgetting those Olympic qualifiers for South Africa.
Before you say goodbye to me,
Yeah?
I am telling you South Africa will beat DRC.
Is this in the 3rd and 4th playoff?
This game playing tonight, South Africa are beating DRC and coming home with a bronze medal.
Interesting fact for those of you that aren't in the know. Chris, very much a South African who was born in the DRC some time ago. So we've always wanted to know where his allegiance, his true allegiance lies. It looks as though it's with us here in South Africa. So we'll have to wait and see what the scoreline says.
Why are you opening the mic? Welcome back to the second half. The second half is underway. Congo on the ascendancy. Certainly looks like they want to make a name for themselves. They definitely won this medal for themselves. Your thoughts on the second half, the way that it's Silas? Oh.
Yeah, listen, I mean, this third place match isn't matching up to the 2021 third place match. If you remember, Cameroon going down 3-0, Abubakar coming on, the game becomes 3-3. You know, I want to see that kind of drama. I hope the game develops into something like that.
You think I think everything is Nollywood, when you can have drama and jail.
Yeah, I want drama.
That was about Cameroon pride, you know, in front of their own fans.
Oh.
But here's a different story. And
Papa Jeff, don't you want that kind of drama?
But he can handle drama, Papa Jeff.
Don't you want it?
I can handle it, but I'm quite disappointed with South Africa because they don't really push too hard. And I don't know if this is the third time actually that the DRC is threatening Williams, and this is not a good sign actually.
Look, I thought with the same lineup, be barring the center pairing, I would have thought that South Africa would have been more. But if you remember, just before the Afcon, one of the games that South Africa played was against Congo.
This guy, number 23, Mbanza, he's the top goal scorer now in the Portuguese league. Yeah, he plays for Braga.
Mbanza.
And these PSL guys are still able to hold him off.
You see? You see?
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah, amazing. This is what I say that you know, if we can
copy
the model of South Africa and implement it around, giving them, and CAF should also step in to try to help.
So, but with that, there's the African club. There's that body that's been created now by CAF. That CAF are saying go ahead. You know, your thoughts on that? Because how important is a body like that in terms of determining? In each and every country, there should be a league that runs. In each and every country in Africa, each and every FA must have a very competitive league that runs.
Yep,
because you look at the Botswana, the league is not running.
Yeah, but the problem is about fund. Who's funding them? They want money. Talent. There's no problem with the talent around Africa. We do have talented young boys, young girls in the streets of African countries. We need to get them organized, and to get them organized demands a lot of money.
Ooh. Sorry,
you see,
this man looks like he had a dinner. Did you enjoy your dinner? You know, like other people who are having fruit salad instead of dinner. I mean, those kind of things.
CAF can get that. CAF is well positioned actually to acquire sponsorship and say this sponsorship probably we won't need it. Yes, it can be for the Central African region. This can be for the SADC region. This should be for the CECAFA region. This is for WAFU region. This is for.
But when I saw, and I remember one of the directors at the PSL, who's one of the board of governors, and then is also an executive member, Mr. John Comites, was talking about how the clubs should be looked after and everything. But what was interesting for me was you're taking a South African model, and that's what you want to be protected.
There are three models, I will say.
Because
you have
everybody else doesn't have. I mean, you've got to be able to say, let's get everybody to build so that we can be on par. So that we don't... Because what is happening now, if you look at Egypt, they're far ahead of the rest. If you look at Tunisia, they're ahead of the rest. If you look at Algeria, you look at Morocco, the North Africans are sorted. South Africa is sorted. In Southern Africa, South Africa is sorted. But the rest of the countries, you're going, is there a league? Are we running? Are we not? And
but Zambia was on good path. That's why we could see local best players when they won the Afcon in when it was co-hosted by Gabon and Equatorial Guinea in 2012 with Katongo.
Katongo,
yes, it was the captain. So they had a crop of players that were playing the trade locally. And Zambia was in one very good path. I don't know what happened with the new management at the FA.
Yeah.
And when you talk about the Zambian FA, you get suspended somewhere.
So, Papa Jeff, we've agreed that we're going to send you to the next CAF policy conference. On a club perspective,
absolutely.
What would be the
Absolutely.
recommendations that you say to the CAF guys?
Yeah.
Consider the following things, because we've seen, if you're looking at CAF and at the Afcon, the way that is done, the one club that has had most players is Mamelodi Sundowns.
Yeah.
Sundowns are doing well on continental platform.
Yes.
The PSL is doing well in terms of being structured as a league.
Yes.
If the league is strong, if you're doing well, considering South Africa has not embarrassed themselves in this.
No,
Certainly not.
With 98% of a local team. So, does it mean our leagues are not that far off, but we don't have enough leagues that are up there?
Yes, we don't have. Well, South Africa is one-man show. They stand alone. They don't have competitors around. And that's why our countries are forced to go outside and look for other players to come and complete the lineup, which is not quite fair. And also, I would ask CAF to monitor the development of the players at the local, within the local league, to be permanent. And if needs be, as they know that government are giving money to the clubs, they can also give. Look at TP Mazembe. TP Mazembe start doing well just because they didn't have a proper structure, but they were importing. Most of the players were foreign based. They were coming from outside Africa and outside the Congos, but they were African. But
because I remember there was from a Sundowns perspective, there was a certain Rainford Kalaba that we wanted at Sundowns. And Mazembe made some good money, and they said, you are staying here.
Yeah.
And Rainford was very key in terms of them winning the championship.
Them winning the championship and also helping the national team.
I know when you talk Champions League in Nigeria, you don't
don't worry.
They had the Yimba who won.
Yes, tell him. Yimba's going to come back eventually.
So,
has-beens, these ones.
And this is where we have to be advocating, actually, to try to get those leagues. I want the leagues to be strong. When we have stronger leagues, and we will have capable players. And also, CAF should help us. And that's why I'm against the current system of choosing the best African player of the year. Because it's not because you're playing 60 games in Europe for European club that you become the best in Africa. What about the players? What about Mundao? What about Pesitao?
But for me, Papa Jeff has always been the following. People mistaken you being seen for you being the quality, and just because you are seen does not mean you quality. Because most people, because they've seen Victor play at Napoli, the assumption that he is that good.
Yeah. So why is he becoming the best African player?
Because is that
and
good?
That's a debate that should be had
because Napoli won the league.
Oh, Napoli is it an African club?
So when you then look at
Napoli won the league after how many years?
No.
And it was an African that carried them.
Just because you're playing the Kaiser Chiefs, you don't win the league after 50 years.
Yeah.
But so you then look at contenders from Al Ahly. Al Ahly has been winning their league. Al Ahly has been winning the Champions League. Can you not be able to measure players on the same footing?
Yeah, they can measure. I don't have any problem to say that this is the award for African players playing the trade overseas. Yes, but the main thing should be based on Africa. What was the last time a player based in Africa won the CAF award, the best player trophy?
Let's see.
It was in 1986, and it was Baduzaki after the World Cup in Mexico.
See.
I mean, he was playing for Wydad Casablanca.
So if the I know the awards have just happened, the awards suddenly come and they say, "Hey, Tebogo Mokoena is a player, is a player of the season." Would that justify that because he has contributed that much? He has done that well. Because the reality is, while Victor has had a brilliant season with Napoli, yes, he's had limited influence in the Eagles.
Yes, because they failed to qualify for the World Cup. held on the home ground by Ghana.
Can we just press pause on this conversation? What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
Your influence. What has your influence done?
No,
You
guys.
should deserve that trophy. You should.
He deserves it.
No.
He deserves it. He deserves it.
Let me give you, and it was quite an interesting thing that we had. Not in this Ballon d'Or, but the one before that. What was the one criteria that everybody used? The World Cup.
The World Cup.
Messi won because he may not have gone to the Champions League final. Champions League is continental. Now you are king of the world.
It was the World Cup and the trophy in South America because they won it.
Yeah.
So it was those two trophies.
But
so which one has Victor won?
Victor, you
Has
see,
he won the Champions League?
let me tell you.
Let me tell you. Because now, and forget that he's South African, and let's just say we pick Percy Tau because he was one of the top performers at Al Ahly. Al Ahly have won their local league. Victor has won the Italian league. So you won each.
Yeah.
But
won the Champions League.
But let's put it into perspective, guys. Napoli hadn't won that league for over 30 years.
So now we must be sentimental because Napoli.
You see Victor still going to have a back surgery done for carrying Napoli on his back.
Emotional about it.
We should be sentimental about what the Italians are doing.
You should have seen Victor that season. He was incredible, guys. He deserved it.
When Adebayo won it, I said because he was playing for Arsenal. Yes.
Yeah, he was playing for.
I said, what about Abu Treka?
Well, was it playing for Arsenal or Monaco? It was Arsenal.
So was playing at Arsenal.
Arsenal, yeah.
So what about Abu Treka? What about Emad Moteb? What about Wael Goma? What about Jabran Yaya of Wydad Casablanca?
Yeah,
what do you say to those African
players? Yeah, I know.
Because that you
let's have the
if you don't play
if your criteria is that you've got to win trophies, right?
Yeah.
You've won the Italian league.
Right.
The fact that Napoli has been an underachieving
single-handedly.
team. No. The fact that Napoli has been underachieving
was.
But then you look at
single-handedly. So did you see him that season?
No. I don't dispute that. So how did he do in the Champions League?
It was on the line, coach.
No.
Forget
the Champions League.
No, you can't forget the. So you choose what to forget now.
No. His performance in the league was.
So the league.
Was Thierry Henry-esque.
Wow. So and I'm saying to you, so the Champions League is nowhere. Yet you've got players here in Africa who've won the Champions League.
But that season.
Yes.
Which African player
won the Champions League in Africa?
In
Africa, you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
So for me, and that's why I was saying, Papa Jeff, because people see Napoli, because then the assumption is it's bigger than what we have.
Yeah, bigger than what we have.
Because we see you, but just because we see you does not mean we're quality. Just because you're on each and every screen that we've got, and because you're commercially, does that mean you're better quality?
On what? Just because they said that they're bigger than this. But TP Mazembe played in the final of FIFA Club World Cup when Tottenham, Arsenal, the best organized, they never reached that level.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I know you guys want like African football to be more centralized to the local leagues, to be more.
So you are saying you don't.
No. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, guys. Africans doing incredible stuff in Europe have to be acknowledged. You know what I'm saying?
So forget if you're doing wonderful stuff on the continent, it doesn't matter.
No, it matters, of course.
But we have to value those efforts.
But how do you show that value?
Yeah.
How do you show that?
So you guys are saying the only way to show that value is by prestigious trophies like that to be given to local talent.
You can't tell us a domestic cup in Italy has more value than the Champions League.
The Champions League in Africa.
Hey.
You see where we stand? You see?
I can see.
Yeah.
I can see, but still.
But you can see, Papa Jeff, you can see, and I understand where he's coming from. See, most of the
Yeah,
players,
most African shared this
but
kind of.
half of the Eagles team is not from Nigeria.
They're from where?
They're like, no, you were born. Your mother's mother is Nigerian. Come and play for us. Right?
Oh man.
So
I could have done with a Saka, with a Musiala. You know they have Nigerian blood.
no, you like instant
Come
stuff.
into the local.
We've made peace that you like instant stuff.
This is one of the things Agbon Lahore did say when he used to play. He said that it's only because I am who I am.
No, Gabriel is a different case because he said he doesn't even know the national anthem. He broke my heart, Gabriel.
No, he was true.
How, okay, when a player is that blatant. But I remember you told me about
yes. You see,
The final pass.
For the finishing final pass in there. But you see today, DRC is not playing with one with a single striker. They used to do that.
Ooh! Whoa! Come on! Ooh!
Wow!
Yeah, I see people who are supporting Congo there. The back are celebrating that the goal was missed. We understand.
No. What do you put down like?
Of course, it's not a goal. How can you say is there a goal?
It's not a goal.
No, that chance.
What juju are you using there at the back?
Yeah, the chance. How many chances the DRC has?
Oh,
that was so.
Has had,
How
but they
do
don't
you-
bury them. And don't be surprised if South Africa wins this game.
That was one of the very
oh
few
my
errors.
goodness!
Wow.
What? What is that down to? Lack of quality?
Confidence.
Confidence. This is what happened because we want to impress. Because they were not the first choice during the whole tournament.
Oh.
Yeah, you see, the DRC was playing only with Bakambu at the
Yes.
front. Now they are two. He plays with Mbanza and Silas. Though both of them used to come in the second half. But today they've started the game.
They should have played Wisa though in the second.
Yeah, Wisa is on the bench. Probably will come on. Even Bakambu too. But South Africa is getting there because they control the game. They start controlling the game.
Mm-hmm.
But in which parts of the game? I mean, if you look at who has had the most touches, you're looking at the defensive players, the center pairing. It's the final third is not the ones that matters.
But I will say the final pass to the strikers is not really coming through. That's when you have Bemba, you have to think twice before you know how to play him.
What South Africa did particularly right against Nigeria, when you even look at the heat map, like the overloading on the one side, and then just how the Nigerian defense didn't even have an answer to just the change of formation, and South Africa was just too incredible against Nigeria.
But South Africa was in terms of the game, the play. South Africa
was dominating,
was dictating the pace of the game. So, as we said,
why are they doing that tonight, though? Is it just they've lost?
Look, no, but you also
they're just trying to respect the competition.
Here's some of the things that you've always got to take. Now you're playing against a different opposition. So which means they're not playing like Nigeria. They've got a different style. They've got a different way of playing.
Yeah.
Because just because you played this way, for example, South Africa beats Morocco because Morocco were playing a certain way, a certain style.
Oh.
Not every single opposition will now be.
Is that a chance?
Not every opposition is going to play like Morocco. Not every opposition. It's same as Mali. People thought Nigeria, if they were physical against South Africa, but they're not Malians because the way that Mali were playing, they were strong, but they were also intentional in how they play, and the influence that those players had on the game. So just because you see, and that's why it's important to have your own game model. Because if you watch everybody and you try to be like everybody, then you won't be.
You get you. You can't play, it's like your opponents. You have to come with a different with different tactics.
The tactics against Nigeria was scary. The overloaded of the box and the when they were in possession. Also when without the ball, South Africa is incredible. You know?
Yeah, but South Africa, Hugo Boss knew very well that they will rely on Simon Moses, it will be Victor Osimhen, it will be Lookman, and yes, sometimes in the middle of the park, you guys don't develop the game from the middle of the park, which is your main engine, but you prefer to choose the individualities where you have to get some kind of
that engine was not firing on any
cylinder. Look, I would agree.
Yes, but the Lookman was firing. Was very. That's why he's the best goal scorer, top goal scorer in Nigerian team.
No, but also.
Do you see Hugo Bruce staying after this tournament? Because a few teams want him.
Wait, he won't go.
Wait,
Algeria wants him now.
Whoever wants
Algeria.
Him, Hugo Bruce has got a contract. Wait,
they have Fahid Halilhodzic.
Adeline, let's wait. There could be interest everywhere. Hugo Bruce has got a contract with SAFA that runs up until the next World Cup.
So
unless they can buy that contract out.
Oh, really?
Yes, they can.
All that it boils down to, it can just be talk. There could be interest. Hugo Bruce has got a contract. And when I heard Danny Jordan as the SAFA president saying he's going to ask him to stay, I'm like, but why you ask him to stay? You've signed him on 26. What are you asking for? I mean, that did not make sense to me. It's like, I know where my home is. You don't need to ask me to go home.
But he can buy his own contract, like, the Neymar did it at Barcelona.
But Barcelona's got no money. Xavi bought himself there, Neymar bought himself. But when you look
so who takes the South African team forward? I've heard a few people say Pizzo.
Which part? Hugo's got a contract. I know in Nigeria you don't own a contract, but in South Africa we own a contract.
Can you hear what he's saying?
No, but everywhere in the world you own a contract. You must finish it.
Okay.
The thing that Tunisia is interested in Hugo Bruce, the thing that Algeria is interested in Hugo Bruce has got a contract with South Africa until 2026. He must take us to America, make sure we get there.
Yeah.
So don't worry about all that is talk.
And the World Cup qualifiers,
we got Nigeria. We must meet you soon.
You've got Zimbabwe.
We got Nigeria there. Yeah. That's the one that's important. Look, the World Cup qualifier.
South Africa get 7 points from that group. I think it's progress. Congo's got DR Congo's got Senegal in the World Cup qualifiers.
Yeah, World Cup qualifier.
That's going to be tough.
Yes, it's got Senegal, Sudan, Mauritania.
Yeah. So, how does it? Is the first?
The way the world is at the moment. No, this one must go. You will find us to do.
Mashako comes in.
Oh. Nigeria out of it.
Wow.
Oh no! And pass.
Yeah.
And you've been in touch with some journalists.
Yeah.
How has it been? What's the feeling? Because from where I'm sitting as an outsider.
In the African Cup of Nations that has been dubbed as the best Afcon that the world has ever witnessed by Dr. Patrice Motsepe, we're officially down to only 2 matches. We're down to the final 2 who we know out of them, certainly one will clinch the gold. That is Coted'Ivoire as well as the Super Eagles of Nigeria, whereas South Africa and DRC are set to battle it out for 3rd and 4th position. Bagaitsong dumelang, Lina Lakakitimeleng, Khosigadi Banda, and welcome to it. This is Akwaba, proudly brought to you by Fut-Afrique, and this is the only show where we get to have insightful African football conversations. They're entertaining, they're educational, and may I say, they give you a front row ticket into Coted'Ivoire 2023. So sit back, relax as we talk all things the Africa Cup of Nations, but we'll also branch out and talk all things women's football, as Jessica Bokamo-Sonkomo will join me, and we will talk about the FIFA Under-17 World Cup qualifiers, and not forgetting those Olympic qualifiers for South Africa.